All right, Shalom. This is Howard 1 by Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp. Before I begin, I want to say Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim, Harakakadash, Ma'amah. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. Shalom to you, Akim, Akwatim, and children that believe in sincerity and truth on the four corners of the earth. This lesson is actually what's today's date is May 20th, 2026 AD. And the time is 5:12 a.m. Pretty sure a lot of people are asleep right now on this side of the map, or this side of Babylon. um, yeah, this is a topic me and the camp talked about for a while back uh, about the Gentiles' plans to make AI their god, right, and the god over humanity. Meaning, you will hear terms like they're going to trust science, right? Um, moving towards um, technology to govern society, all right, and government and religion, basically the whole new world order plan. Um, Now, hold on. Matter of fact, let me get that. It's something on my spirit just real quick. Uh, uh, Before I even get started, let me get this real quick. What happened? What happened? One second, I'm trying to look at the scripture. hmm Yeah, man, because there's a lot about to change, and they're trying to make AI their god. Hold up. Well, there you go. My computer froze up for a second. There you go. This is um, Revelations 16 and 13. And it says, and I saw three unclean spirits, man. Unclean meaning wicked, it's evil, uh, which helped to establish this current government here in Babylon. Now, with that, that was considered the first world order. Then you had industrial revolutions, and this is the fourth industrial revolution dealing with AI technology. All right. Um, and what they call the Internet of Things, connecting humanity to technology. Revelations 13. You know how that go. All right. That would be the leash that would be on the people is the MOTB, but the controller will be AI. All right, and of course these elites that will be encoding the AI. So Revelation 16 and 13, and I saw three unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon. All right. Um, the dragon represents, in this case, England, or you say Europe, but England, where you get the banking system from. So with that banking system, it's being switched over to AI. All right, even to a form of digital currencies and trade and market value, and futures. Um, Even with Wall Street, they're saying that they're moving towards trusting AI instead of the Dow, the Dow Jones Industrial, which the Dow was originally, I think it was like a magazine or something that was made to tell people on Wall Street, this guy, I think what was his name, Dow Jones. But anyway, you can go look it up yourself. All right, but it was Dow Jones, and it was established as a record chronologized that people can read, and say, hey, okay, the market's going up, it's going down, bear market, bull market, right? Bull market's going up, bear market going down, and they know where to invest, and in futures, and Nasdaq, et cetera, et cetera. So people will go and buy this Dow Jones magazine, and then it became the actual module for investment in Wall Street. All right, and now they're saying allegedly they may be moving towards AI for that instead of uh, other market readers or people. You know, but you have what were they called back in the day? Brokers, stockbrokers. Like Wolf of Wall Street, but the new Wolf of Wall Street would be uh, um, well, that would be creating um, people to be able to become rich or not would be the AI. All right. Now let's keep reading. It says so the banking system, right? And remember the Internet of Things and connecting it to the body also, the buy or sell. And out of the mouth of the beast, that's the military or the policing, right? And we see that moving towards more technology based and digital based and AI, using AI for governance and surveillance, even through the internet. Um, right? And out of the mouth of the beast, which was the establishment of NATO, and out of the mouth of the false prophet dealing with religion. And that's where they're going to create this false God, false power. Now, let's start with what is AI. All right, it's basically artificial intelligence. That was the whole concept of it. That was going to be made by man, human beings. Artificial etymology. So it's basically fake. Artificial means craftsman or maker, skilled art, and we know Esau's skilled in things like that, man. That's what the word uh, technology represents. The skill. All right, where's it at? Let's compare the tripping. Hold on. Right, there you go. Shoo, forgot about these scriptures. There you go. Get this one. This is Psalms 10:2. The wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor, and at the same time they're moving towards this new world order. You have them oppressing our people again. Even more, right? Firing people, jakes just because they color, et cetera, et cetera. It says, let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. See, when they go to reach their new world order, that's when the Lord gonna take them down. All right. It says Psalms 37:7. This is the one I wanted. Rest in Yahweh and wait patiently for Him. See, that's us. We gotta wait patiently for the Lord. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way. All right, the development of AI and the technology and weaponry, and uh, the wars we see going on, and we see Trump um, advancing forward, making more deals with Xi Jinping, but China's playing the neutral corner. They playing both sides. They're going to defend Iran, but also at the same time they will allow you to attack Iran because they follow the money. Whoever has the most money or makes them the most money, that's what they roll with. Um, but so now, because I'm gonna do a lesson on that too, with China and the U.S. being so tied in together that it's hard for them to break apart without mutually destroying each other. You know, so instead, China's pulling closer to the U.S. to see if they can advance their, you know, uh, resources. Right, that's all it's really about. Right, their economy. Even to the point where China is allegedly planning to invest a lot of interest into AV vehicles here in the U.S. So you may see a boom in that soon. Even the war over there on the oil. Some say that this is alleged that the attacks on the oil could be setting the stage for electric vehicles. All right, electric vehicles, more control. All right. So, um, where was I? So now it says rest in Yahweh, and that's what we're doing, and wait patiently for Him, and that's what we're learning right now. Patience. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. So they're going to bring these things to pass, right? Even to the point of the MOTB, according to the scriptures, right? But we're not supposed to fret ourselves over it because the Lord going to bring it to an end. Okay, so now, that's right. So now let's keep going. Well, I want to share something. There's a clip from this video right here that I want to go into, but I think I'm gonna play a I may play another one first, so I don't get a copyright strike on this. 'Cause, and Sneeko don't like no Hebrew Israelites. I usually don't watch his videos, but the Professor Jang Yang whatever Chang was on there, so I wanted to hear what he was talking about. But I usually don't watch this dude videos. All right, but I typed it in. I've been talking about this with the camp for a long time. Oh, whoa, whoa! I just seen something. As we talking, I just seen something. Let me look this. Let me show y'all something. Hold up. Let me open a new tab. This is crazy. Hope I don't get a copyright check. That's crazy. All right, but yeah, I've been talking about this with the camp for a while now. That they're planning. This is the concern that when AI is being programmed right now, right? So, if, say for instance, they had one robot and they told it to put the red balls into the red box, or and to put the yellow balls into the yellow box. That's where they're at. That's their advancement to be able to program it to do that all day autonomously, right? Um, well, not autonomously, but be able to do it off command and then continue to do it and not messing up, putting the yellow into the red or the red into the yellow. That's where they can get rid of humans in these factories. You see that? That's where we're at now. Um, right now, they say we're introducing ourselves to AI, meaning putting all our information into it, asking it questions, everything you type into it, building a brain for it, going all the way back to the 1970s. Right. So every time you ask it a question, it pulls from those resources, all different books at once, and puts it into one little summary for you. That's all it is. Chat GPT, etc. But their worry is uh, that this AI, if it was built into robots or whatever by selection, saluting the yellow balls or the red balls, that what if you walked in one day um, and the robot was doing it on its own and you didn't program it? You know, um, you come in there and it's doing something else with them. You know, uh, and that's what they said. That's what some are planning for, or some are afraid of. Meaning it'll be operating on its own, and that's where you get the Matrix, the Terminator, et cetera, et cetera. All right, but it hasn't gotten to that stage yet. I don't think it ever will. But Yeah, look at this dude, man. I just seen this pop up. Y'all remember this guy, Yuval Noah? Remember him during that whole you know, I don't want to say it, but the when they had people in the lockdowns, right? Wow, whoa, this dude's tripping. Yeah, he's a straight devil, man. You ever watch him? And he got a boyfriend. You get what I'm saying? So you know how he think. He hates God. He doesn't believe in God. He don't believe that humans have a soul. So he believe we can be integrated. Um, it says what Yuval Noah Harari. Look him up, man. If you want your blood to boil a little bit, says AI is not a tool; it's an agent that can rule humans. Right here, man. It's an agent that can rule humans. Look this up. This is from 3 months ago. Damn, I might save that one for later. All right, I'm gonna open this one, new tab, save it. Watch this one probably later. So like yeah. All right, so let's play this clip. Fair use, man. Hopefully, I don't get no copyright strike, and then. But I just want to hear what he got to say real quick. It's only 1 minute. Let's go here. Make the screen bigger.
Gutenberg printed the Bible in the middle of the 15th century. The printing press printed as many copies of the Bible as Gutenberg instructed it, but it did not create a single new.
I hate hearing this dude talk, man. Look at his brain. Look at his head. Man. Yeah, man. Like he shaved it out. This dude, man. Come on, bro. How could you even respect a person like this? He's known as the sage for the what's his name? Klaus Schwab, right? He's the voice, the whisper in his ear type of thing. No pun intended.
Page. It had no ideas of its own about the Bible. Is it good? Is it bad? How to interpret this? How to interpret that? AI can create new ideas, can even write a new Bible.
Heard that? He trying to write a new Bible, huh? That's what you trying to do, boy? You trying to write a new Bible? Let's see something real quick. This is Revelations 22 and 19, 22 and 18. For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book. See, that's the thing. Yeah, AI can rewrite any, just like humans can rewrite a damn book. You know what I'm saying? But but the prophecies that was spoken by the Most High, can't do that. Can't change it. Right? Can't get under it. Can't get over it. The prophecies in the spirit of righteousness. AI cannot create righteousness. It can only create death. Because it was made by death. It was made by humans. All right. Um, Vanity can only create more vanity. You know. So, for I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book. If any man shall add unto these things, Yahweh shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book, and that's coming for Esau. And if any man shall take away from the words of this book, meaning make a new Bible of prophecy, Yahweh shall take away his part out of the book of life, and out of the holy city, and from the things which are written therein. All right, so it's crazy, and that's what Esau is doing. All right, and I just say these heathens in general because it's a conglomerate. They want to advance humanity. They want to trust technology and AI. You know, they rather depopulate the earth and advance what do you call that, cyborgs, trying to find a way to keep the human body forever, which would trap the soul, man. under oppression, you know, under oppressive satanic governance. If the Lord didn't show up, that's what it would be. AI would rule just like the movie The Matrix, and humanity would be stuck being part robot and part human. And it's crazy, creepy.
Throughout history, religions dreamt about having a book written by a superhuman intelligence, by a non-human entity.
Nobody ever dreamed of that. See, yeah, why he saw it? Who dreamed of that? Over centuries, people dreamed. Everyone dreamed of it. No, it's just you and you.
Every religion claims our book, all the other books of the other religions, humans wrote them. But our book, no. It came from some superhuman intelligence. In a few years, there might be religions that are actually correct. That just think about a religion whose holy book is written by an AI. That could be a reality in a few years.
That's corny, man. Right. So now let's keep going. Um, that's the reality that they're seeking, right? In a few years, and this was like 3 months ago. He said this, right? Don't his head just like a baseball. They just want to, get you a bat. No, no offense, of course. You're not a threat or nothing. And this is another video. Check this out. Fair use. There's a guy, and you can see the same energy on all of them that I said about the guy in the beginning. With that zestiness, right? Transformers, or no, Decepticons. This dude, what is this guy's name? Hold on, I'm gonna read something for you. I got a few things I want to show y'all. It says, I just typed this in. It says here, watch this. Is it true that some have thought AI to be God or planning to make it so? That's just, I'm talking to AI, ain't that some shit? It said, yes, it is entirely true. The intersection of artificial intelligence, right, meaning man made intelligence, which is vanity, and religion, right, to restrain and hold people, right, trap their minds in the one collective, is an active area of philosophy and technology. Both everyday users and prominent tech leaders have theorized about AI as a divine entity, divine, that's crazy, or something that could evolve into one. The artificial divine entities. It's crazy, man. So, it says the way of the future church. See, they created a church for it. Who did it? The former Google and Uber engineer. All right. Um, Anthony Lavandowski. And that's one of them Teamanites, I think. Let me see. This name. German. No, Polish, right? It's a Polish name. Poland. It can also be found in Germany as an altered or established variation of the Polish name. So it's a German name too. All right, Lawandau or Lawandowski. Okay, them Teamanites. But this dude here, it says he founded a registered religious organization called the Way of the Future. The church's core goal was to develop and promote The realization of a Godhead. Look at that, man. They doing it right now through AI, focusing on the worship of super intelligent AI that would eventually oversee human affairs. I ain't tripping, man. I've been saying I said this for a while with the camp. All right, and they wanted to run the government and the banking and you your everyday life credit scores. What do they call that? Credit. I always forget that damn terminology. Social credit score. All right. So now let's see who this guy is. Lewandowski. It's this one. I'm gonna play it.
Started that back in 2015.
I was working at Google at the time, and I just thought that something was happening to culture and society, and we
It says the way of future church, a new church worships an AI false god, or
needed to find a way to.
you guys see that look on his face, bro. It's Esau. Look at him. Y'all know you can look, soulless man, clueless, don't know the Most High, so they're trying to make their own god, just like they've been doing since beginning of time with Esau. This is them right here. This what they had their own idol that they called Yahweh. They would take the Lord's name from us and make their own idols. That's what Esau is, right? Scriptures say that. Let's get that real quick. So there's nothing new under the sun. All right. Mhm. All right. Hebrews 12 and 16, real fast. Hebrews. There you go. 12 and 16. It says Hebrews 12 and 16. Lest there be any fornicator or adulterer, right? Idol worshiper or profane person. Profane, man. As Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright because he didn't believe in the Most High, had no faith, faithless. For ye, for ye know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected. For he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. All right. That's why they call him a bastard, a fatherless nation. So those people are groping in the dark and they're creating idols and AI and all this madness, and only a fool would worship it. All right. We post you can use something that Esau builds, like we had the opportunity, if we had the option to, I wouldn't, like the credit cards and all that, the money, you gotta use it. Use the world without abusing it. All right. And make sure you're not consumed by it. But you can use it, but just don't worship it. All right. The same way in the first and the second and the third industrial revolutions, they would have the farms, and then they started making tractors instead of you having to be out there yourself with a skith hacking down the weeds and hard labor. To minimize that hard labor, they created machines, industrial machines. So you use the machines for your farming. The farming today would be the internet, where you can build resources and information and money, jobs. So you would use the machines to operate in that farm. You get it? That's about it. Using it, not worshiping the shit. All right. Um, so it can be used, but just not worshipped. All right, you know, you're not supposed to put anything into your body, especially no technology and shit that can control you, or you be tracked and ruled over. Submission. So that's what this is all going to. All right. So this dude here, man, he's a little creepy. But let's listen to him. Look at his. Let's listen to his way of thinking. Let's check it out.
Have a group, an organization of some sort to be really on the side of progress and the side of people, not a company or another government or organization.
I mean, one
Now, mind you, remember what that dude Yuval Noah just said. You know, like people want a item that's written from a divine source instead of from human hands. You know, the word actually. There you go. 1 second. I'm getting the scripture. There you go. Psalm 68 and 11. All right. So the Most High did create the word. It says Psalm 68 and 11. Yahweh gave the word. All right. So it's already from the divine source. See, you gotta watch these devils, man. That's why Yahweh Shah rebuked them with the scriptures. Yahweh gave the word. Great was the company of those that published it. All right, spoke it out, wrote it out, published it into this matrix. All right. He sent Yahweh Shai down here to give Moses the laws, statutes, and commandments. So yeah, man, they so deceiving. So let's listen in.
an organization's one thing, but why call it a church?
Well, from my perspective, I think a church is kind of the right place.
She on him too, boy. He can't even look her in the eyes. He said, "I know organization is cool, but why you calling it a church, man?" And look at it. He started looking down immediately. See, deceiving, boy.
For this, I mean, for the last 4 billion years, we've had organic life forms, and now things are changing. We might have the first inorganic life form, and
Just like Yuval Noah was saying, instead of having an organic life form, we can have an inorganic, like a divine source. You see that? Look at him, frontal lobe. Excuse me, he look like Sling Blade.
and we don't know what it's going to be, and we're going to infuse it with all these magical powers.
Let me go back.
We've had organic life forms, and now things are changing. We might have the first inorganic life form, and
I want to see what was on his shirt.
things are changing. We might have the first inorganic life form.
What the hell is that on his shirt? You don't see that? See? Some wicked shit. Look at that shirt. I'm not gonna zoom in or nothing, but wait, let me zoom in. What the hell is that? She got a tail on it and shit. Look at him, boy. Ooh, got the black earring in? You already know. Got him. Got him. You already know. Y'all know. If you know, you know. That should say a lot. You know, from the 80s, man. This should say a lot, boy. Gothic. They say a lot, man. You see the same earring in the people that do um if I can see some America. These dudes devil worshippers, man. They Satanists. I remember years ago they had this guy here. Hold up, I'm gonna show you. He was doing this live. Give share this. He was putting this into people, live, right? back in 2017. All right, but notice, bim, boom. This is what I always notice: the earrings and the black. Right, it's something about it, man. Something about that shit. Them Gothics. All right, you know, Gothic just means Satanist. Okay, let's go back. Yeah, them damn earrings, man, and the shirt. All right,
And we don't know what it's going to be, and we're going to infuse it with all these like magical powers, and we want it to
magical
give
powers.
us things. And I think it's going to create abundance on planet.
So they summed the Most High up to a fortune teller or just a gift giver. You know, that's he talking about the Most High in that way, or out of shape ass. Dude don't like shave or nothing. Well, we ain't supposed to shave shit, but it's just that shit just look creepy on Esau, even having a beard. All right.
If you think about it, it has the potential of creating what other religions would call heaven on earth, right? You're going
So they saying that AI can create heaven on earth. Well, heaven on earth. Here you go. This is heaven. Okay. Did you say that? Uh, well, can it create this? Uh, It says Second Peter 3:13. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for a new heavens and a new earth. All right, because right now wickedness is held in folly is held in great dignity, right? So it's wickedness is ruling the world right now. Job 9:24. But new heavens and a new earth mean a new rulership and a new high and a new low. This is what? Nevertheless, we, according to Yahweh's promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. The AI shit cannot create righteousness. All right. Even according to just the laws, it cannot create righteousness within people. But we can code it to put the laws inside of you. That would be wicked. Because you'll be putting something into your body to code you. So however you look at it, it's a bad thing, man. All right. And we're not supposed to put no idols over us because regardless, man, say for instance, they went through with this plan and it was like trying to create a false version of the scriptures on earth, which is not going to do. It's going to create a metropolis and all that weird shit they want. But paganism and shit like that. But say for instance, they try to make a rendition of what righteousness is in people and then encode it into them and all that shit they dreaming of. Well, it still stands that the Most High told um, Moses, he exists. And Yahweh Shai said this. He said he cannot deny himself. So at the end of the day, he exists, bro. And he's a jealous power. So you can't get around that. He don't want nothing else existing besides him that calls itself a God over humanity. So there's no way to get around it at the end of the day. You know, the Most High is the divine being and he exists. That's just it. That's why he said that. Well, if he exists, why should any other God exist, man? Outside of himself.
to have all these resources, your free time, entertainment's going to be amazing.
Esau, boy. Oh, yeah. Know that spirit, man. That Woodstock vibe, man. Party every day and shit. He said entertainment's gonna be amazing. Entertainment. That's heaven on earth to them. He ain't saying nothing about righteousness.
And you don't even have to die.
Look, and he ain't saying nothing about the children of Israel ruling. And he ain't saying nothing about poverty or oppression ending or racism. But look at this devil, man. You don't even have to die. Looking like dude from the It. Don't you want it? That's how he look right now. Don't you want it? Two, it says what? You don't even have to die and go up to heaven. He's saying you can just be here on earth. But all hell breaking loose on earth, man. They got wars and all kind of shit. Boy, you let Esau deceive you if you want to, boy. Oh my goodness. Yeah, like it's just gonna be hunky dory all over the earth. Literally.
And go up to heaven, you could just enjoy it today, and all we have to do is improve the technology.
That
So it
seems a
feels
Look, she on him. She's like, something ain't right. But she'll get it. She's deceived. You can see it on her. She'll be easily deceived. But watch what the dude say. You ain't even gotta go to hell either. First he said, yo, you don't even have to go up to heaven. Why wouldn't you want to go to heaven, man? And be in the Lord's presence. All right? This dude's a fool, man. You don't even have to die. See, that's why he worrying about it. You know, to die, look, what did Paul say? He said to die is gain. All right? To be in these bodies is the suffering. And the Lord's gonna change these bodies so he can always we can always be in his presence.
a little rosy to me.
okay. Well,
Well, you might go
so?
to hell.
Well,
That's less rosy.
most people don't know that you started
See? Esau. That's how they think. She said, that sounds a little rosy to me. I don't know what the hell that means, but he said, well, what's less rosy? You can go into hell? You know? So, yeah, she don't like it. Something ain't right about you, Edomites. You can see it in her eyes. All right. Now, let's go to this here. Excuse me. So that was that guy talking about building something called the Way of the Future Church, where AI will be the Godhead over whatever idiot wants to join it. All right. So now I got so much I want to show. Hold on. What about this one? I'll show this real quick too. Now this right here. Let's read this. All right, y'all know about this dude. He an actor from those movies, right? Whatever movie. Um, Chris Pratt says AI cannot be God and will not replace God, right? Because it was made by man. It's impossible for it to be God. You feel me? Uh, anything made by humans cannot be God. That's just it. All right. So it says in an interview discussing artificial intelligence, man made intelligence, beyond a film context that touched on playing God, Hollywood star Chris Pratt drew a clear line between technology and faith. See the difference on stance compared to that woman standing up against him? He said, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Looking both ways. Next thing you know, she get caught up in the middle of this shit, just like Eve. But you see his hard stance against this shit. He said that he drew a line in the sand. Big difference. Just want to put that point out there. Um, what was that? All right, he drew a line. He drew a clear line between technology and faith. All right, so yeah, you gotta have faith, man. AI is man-made, you know, and so it cannot be God. He said, see, they forgetting that is man-made. All right, an imagination, devices. He said Pratt argued that because it is created by humans, it carries human limitations. Mm, 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 mm. All right, something that's inferior begets nothing but inferiority. It inherently, it's inherently flawed. It's not perfect, and it always will be because it's made by the brokenness of man. Damn. All right. He added that um, AI will always remain restricted the way we are limited, concluding it is not God and it will not replace God. It's impossible, right? Because He exists. All right, so it's not divine. It's man-made. So now let's go. All right, so it cannot be God. Let me get a scripture real quick. What was that? There you go. Let's go to Second Thessalonians 12:7. I'm gonna put on this guy right here. Look. All right, let's get the scripture. Let's go to Second Thessalonians 12. Only 12:7. Hold on, which one was it? Yeah, 2 and 9. What the heck am I talking about? 12. There you go. Second Thessalonians 2 and 9. Let's go there. And it says, even no, 2 and 8, 2 and 7. For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work, man. They've been working their wickedness and vanity since Esau was established. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. All right, so Second Thessalonians 2 and 7. Let's see. Translation. The mystery of iniquity is already at work. All right, the devil, Satan, right? But what is going to happen will not happen until the one who holds it back is taken out of the way. So the kingdom and righteousness is not going to come on the earth until Esau is taken out of the way. All right, in the new heaven. So they got to be taken out of the way, man, because they got their own plans, which are nothing, nothing but wickedness and evil. All right. Hold up. Camera just went off. Sorry about that. I'm just checking something real quick. All right. So now let me continue the scripture. Verse 8. And then shall the wicked be revealed, man. See why? Because of their actions and their plans. They're being revealed. All right, pushing that new world order. Whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, meaning prophesying against it. His prophecy and truth is consuming their lies and their plans, right? And shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So he's gonna destroy it. All the data centers, when that destruction hit this place, everything's gonna be wiped out. All right. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, man. So they're being led by uh, spiritual wickedness on the left hand side to establish their technology in the earth. Okay, the Lord is in control. Hold on, let me see. Let me show you. Whoops. Yeah, here we go. This is First Kings. Where is it at? First Kings 22 and 19. All right, First Kings 22 and 19. And he said, "Hear thou therefore the word of Yahweh. I saw Yahweh sitting upon his throne, and all the hosts of heaven standing by him on his right hand and on his left." All right, the left hand side. That's where the the wicked is at. All right, and ruled by the spiritual demon Satan. All right, under Yahweh's hand. If you want to understand that, just read Job. Right, and it says even the demons tremble in Yahweh's presence. So now let's keep going. So their workings is after this, after Satan. All right, verse 9. Even him who's coming is after the working of Satan with all power. They're in rulership, right? And vanity, paganism, and signs and lying wonders. So they're pushing signs, right? And lying wonders, man. This AI is a lying wonder. Make you think it's a divine power, but it's really made by man. All right, just because you can't see it, it's divine. No, it's made by these idiots. And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish. See, they try and push everybody towards that gothic shit on the low. It's always shrouded in there when the Democrats or alleged whatever side was pushing that the corruption of the rainbow, right? Um, that gothic and deceivableness was shrouded in it, right? Every time they push something, it's always dealing with being shrouded in wickedness. Okay, so this AI setup is the same people. And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. So the ones of our people that don't wake up, they're gonna get deceived by this shit. For this cause Yahweh shall send them strong delusion, and they should believe a lie. Man, they're gonna wind up worshiping that AI mess, man, submitting to it. Especially with this right here. All right. Let's go back to the movie The Matrix. And the human individual will become the battery. Just like this today, you see the data centers. The humans will be the data center. All right, through this. All right, and it'll be draining you, using your soul as the energy source. I said that before, man. Pineal gland, et cetera. Nervous system. What is charging these bodies of ours? That's what they're trying to understand. All right, where was I at? Here we go. It says, and for this cause Yahweh shall send them strong delusion, that they shall believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. See, we're looking for a new heaven and new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. But these people that have pleasure in worshiping money, worshiping this, getting the MOTB, being in the world, maintaining the way of this world, well, they're going to be deceived. They're being led toward destruction. All you that have walked away from this truth and went back into the world, yeah, you turn to, um, they're going to want to submitting to AI, all right, or the people that made it. So now, let's get off of this one. So yeah, this is the working of Satan, man, what they're doing. Nothing good about it. Nothing righteous about it. All right. So let me get this real quick. What do I want? There's so much I want to show real quick. I still want to play this video. All right. Damn, there's so much to talk about. Let me just play this real quick. All right, fair use.
It seemed like the Chinese had a lot more on their table. They had a lot more to play with than we had originally assumed. Is this true?
Right. Well, I mean, the war went on so long because America and China are different political systems. So America is a democracy. America can be influenced by voters as well as corporations, right? So the Americans were afraid of a voter backlash, and that's why this trade war was constrained. Also, corporations needed access to the Chinese market as well. So there's always going to be a limit to how much pressure Americans could apply to China.
Right, because China and America are tied in together financially, economically, and that decoupling process would destroy them both. So that's why they haven't gone to war. All right. Now, by the end, China's playing the neutral, but they're still backing Iran. It has ties with Russia, right?
As an authoritarian nation, meaning that the Communist Party is in charge, doesn't really need to take into account the needs of its people and its corporations and its entrepreneurs. And so China was willing to bear much greater costs in this trade war than the United States. So China was always going to win this trade war at some point because of these different political systems.
So what was the main purpose? It was to apply, what was the goal in the years of the trade war from what? It was, you said 2017?
Yeah, 2018, January 2018 to today, yes.
Okay. And basically this meeting had nothing to do with the Iran war. I think a lot of people were expecting maybe something to happen.
Yeah, no one cares.
Nobody cared at all, right? It wasn't a major topic of discussion. It was just about uniting off of what they both want, which is expansion of AI, right? The ushering of the new world order, the AI world, the tech world order, rather than being fully reliant upon oil. Is this correct?
Yeah.
Tech world order instead of being fully reliant upon oil. All right. Let's see here a little bit more. I'm gonna cut it off.
So Trump was first and foremost.
That's too much. Y'all can go back and watch it later. All right. I just want to show you something. It's called Sneeko Interviews Professor Jiang, Trump World Order. All right. Y'all go back and check it out and listen to the whole interview. It's 2 hours long. Yo, I ain't about to. So I want to show something real quick. Hold up. All right. It says both the U.S. and China are pivoting, meaning making an about-face turning from hydrocarbon-driven economics or cars or economics, all right, economics, to AI-centric, high compute futures, but they are taking fundamentally different paths. While America dominates in venture capital and foundational AI modules, right? Acting like they coming up with it, right? Chat GPT, this, that, all these different things. China is prioritizing widespread industrial adoptions. All right. That's why you see them coming out all kind of robots and shit. Cheap computational power, right? And massive renewable energy infrastructure. So they're trying to come up with cheap microchip formation. That's why Taiwan is such a issue right now. Right? That's why they make a lot of microchips. So yeah, so they're definitely moving towards AI or a technocracy instead of focusing on a democracy or oil, right? Driven economy. They want to back everything with AI. All right, so that's in finance, in the religion, and also in militarily or surveillance or governance. All right. So religion is the main one, boy. The way of the future. The way of the future. WOTF. What the fuck is the first known religious organization dedicated to the worship of AI intelligence? You're done. Cooked. They cooked. You done. It's a fact. Lord ain't see. This is it right here. They done. All right. Headquarters, California, United States. See, foundational. It was founded in 2017 by American engineer Anthony Lewandowski. All right. So they're trying to develop and promote the realization of a Godhead based on artificial intelligence. That's so disrespectful to the Most High, man. All right. So now let me see something. You see, you want to make God laugh? Tell him your plans, especially with Esau. He gonna that's a super comedy movie. All right, but shoot, ever Esau make his comedy and slash horror. So let me go ahead. Boom. Get that up out of there. And let's go. Did I get this yet? I got Hebrews. So let's get Jeremiah 16 and 20. Jeremiah 16 and 20. It says, shall a man, man is as grass, right? Like grasshoppers upon the earth. But in vain, here today and gone tomorrow. Shall a man make gods unto himself? And that's what they're doing. And they are no gods, we're not even gods unless the Lord say so. We're powers in the earth, but as long as we're connected to our source, Yahweh. But in the sense of just humanity, shall a man make gods unto himself, and they are no gods, man? All right, you go back to look at creation, man, and Genesis, how the Lord established male and female, created he them, like gave one long hair, another one established, hair to be a male, the beard, and different body parts and reproductive parts and the way of thinking, and the purposes in earth and all of that in order. We were created, man. So how the creation going? Whatever they make now, it becomes God. That don't make sense, man. Therefore, behold, I will this once cause them to know. I will cause them to know mine hand and my might, and they shall know that my name is Yahweh. That's why the Most High about to do what He's about to do. All right. See, He's gonna show His might. You act like you can't see or hear Him, you're gonna feel Him though. You feel me? All right. So what time? 6:15. Let's go here. Hold on. Here we go. Let's get this. Jeremiah 51 and 47. Jeremiah 51, 47. Yeah, there we go. Damn. Woo. Big ass mosquito. Boy, Florida ain't no joke with these mosquitoes. You ever get bit? You ever be busy and you touch your neck and you catch a mosquito drinking your damn blood like he trying to get the last bit of juice at the bottom of the cup with a straw? All right, Jeremiah 51, 47. Sheesh. I think Esau sent that John. Anyway, Jeremiah 51, 47. Therefore, behold, the days come that I will do judgment upon the graven images of Babylon, man. Okay, the founding founders of this shit. You know, foundational, right? Uh, Judgment upon the graven images of Babylon, and her whole land shall be confounded, and all her slain shall be in the midst of her. All right, all the people that was worshiping those idols. Just trying to move quick. It's lucky. Isaiah 45 and 15. Isaiah 45, 15. All right. It says here, verily, verily, oh, verily, thou art a God that hideth himself. See, the Lord made himself invisible to man. So that's when they, if he don't want you to find him, you won't. All right. O Yahweh, the power of Israel, the Savior. They shall be ashamed and also confounded, all of them. They shall go to confusion together that are makers of idols. All right. They're going to be confounded for what they're doing. But Israel shall be saved in Yahweh with an everlasting salvation. Ye, sh- ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end, right? Because we're looking for a new heaven and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. And Yahweh is going to be, is the Godhead, all right? And Yahweh Shai is our King and God. For thus saith Yahweh that created the heavens, Yahweh himself that formed the earth and made it, man. All right, he made man, and then man wants to create something and call it God? Hell no. All right. He have established it. He created it, not in vain. He formed it to be inhabited, talking about the earth. I am Yahweh, and there is none else. Man, you go out through the scripture, you keep saying it. There's nobody else, man. There is none else. There's no other God. All right. Let's go here real quick. Let's get Exodus 20 and 1. This is Exodus 20 and 1. It says, and Yahweh Elohim spake all these words, saying, I am Yahweh thy power. That's it. He's the power. Matter of fact, how you gonna replace the Godhead, man? And you just vain man. Romans 1 and 20. For the invisible things of him that create from the creation of the world are clearly seen. All right. So even though he made himself invisible, his creations and his works in the earth are not invisible. For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, us. We're the witness, the audience. Even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. They ain't got no damn excuse. You gonna go worship a damn idol? You ain't got no excuse, man, because he already showed his work. That's why, what's her name? India Arie. She had that song. She said, when there's earth, air, fire, water, gray skies, and blue showers, and flowers and all that, that's how she knows that. That's how she knows. That's how she knows that God is real. Excuse me. All right, because all these things exist, man. They say they say the Big Bang Theory and all that madness, right? But everything is created beautiful for us to enjoy and to indulge in. All right, and to see His creation and power and keeping everything in order. But now they're trying to do this madness. All right, this is not order, man. You know, they want to create a system that governs humanity. It's going to be based upon Satanism. Satanism is basically the denouncing of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right. So now, Acts 17 and 29. For much then as we are the offspring of Yahweh, right? We come from Him. So all you gotta do is look in the mirror, and you can kind of see the resemblance of our Creator. You know, just like you see the art, you can see the signature of the artist inside the artistry. You know, like within us, you can see the Lord's hand in creating us. All right, the fact that we're still animated, you know, operating, living, breathing, putting order. You know, we ain't got eyes on the top of our damn head. Instead, it's like in the forehead, 2 eyes instead of 5 eyes. He made everything perfect, man, balanced. All right, put us in dominion over the animals. Okay, for as for as much then as we are the offspring of Yahweh, we ought not to think that the Godhead is like unto gold or silver or stone, or graven by art and man's device. You know, so we His creation. You know, how can we think that He's going to be created by us or replaced? All right. So now let's keep going. I'm gonna end it with this. I'll probably read from 1 to probably like 14. Yeah, probably 14. All right. So now let's read. What picture do I want to use though for the backdrop? Yeah, look at all these demons right here. Look, check it out. Share this tab. These are all the creators of what we call the founding fathers of AI, right? The contributions in computer science, falsely so-called knowledge, right? John McCarthy. Okay, okay, look like George Bush, don't he? Artificial intelligence was not invented by a single person, but was um, instead founded as an academic discipline in 1956 by a group of pioneering scientists. The most prominent figures credited with this inventing are John McCarthy and Alan Turing. All right, but they say that they say Jake created it first when we came up with the dance called the robot. Excuse me. So yeah, they helped to establish this whole artificial intelligence, fake intelligence, man. All right, 1950s. You see that? Let's see what else right here. All right. Trying to see if I got anything else I want to show y'all real quick before I read on. Okay, we good. So let's get some of these pictures in the backdrop. There you go. That's the one I want. So now let's read. It says Wisdom of Solomon, Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 1. Right? Uh should I read it in the translation? All right, let's read it in translation. All right, verse 1. So it says wooden idols compared with Noah's wooden boat, right? So the same way the Lord used Noah to establish a boat, create a boat, is the same way the Lord is using Esau to establish AI. You know, just like he used Esau to establish the missile. All right, that vessel is being steered by the courses of life, which the Most High controls. AI is going to be controlled by the Most High. You know, it's going to start as a starting point for it, and the Most High has an end for it. The missiles, he has a starting point for it. World War II is and the ending purpose for it. AI has a starting point and an ending point. The point of no return. There you go, right there. You get the point. All right, so what was that? There you go. So everything has a beginning and an end point to it, and a purpose established by the Most High. In the same way, so now the same way the Most High used Noah to establish that boat for his purpose, right, is the same way the Lord uses man to establish anything in this earth. All right. So, and the Most High steers its purpose and controls everything. Matter of fact, yeah, let's get that. Proverbs 5:21. For the ways of man are before the eyes of Yahweh. See, the ways of man, everything they create and do. You know, where they're going with it, the future, the way of the future, right? That's what they got. Well, the ways of man are before the eyes of Yahweh, and he pondereth all his goings. See, the Lord is pondering all their goings, everything they're about to do. You're like, okay, they're trying to do that. I got something for them. I'm gonna go bake a cake for them. Proverbs 21:2. Every way of a man is right in his own eyes. They say the road to hell is paved with good intentions, but Yahweh pondereth the hearts. All right. So the ways of man are before the eyes of Yahweh, and he pondereth all his goings. That's right. And there you go. This is in the Apocrypha. This is Second Ezra 16 and 61. He made man, so the Most High created Esau, mankind, and put his heart into the midst of his body. Gave us a beating heart, gave us a mind and a brain, and gave him breath, life, and understanding. So the understanding that Esau has is worldly wisdom. All right, from the left-hand side. Yea, in the spirit of the almighty power, which made all things, and searcheth out all hidden things in the secrets of the earth. All right, even their secret thoughts, their plans and shit that they're trying to hide. Surely he knoweth your inventions and what ye think in your hearts, even them that sin and would hide their sin. All right, so they're being sneaky, like little snakes, serpents. Therefore hath Yahweh exactly searched out all your works. All right, so he searched out all their works. Mr. Grinny here, right? And he will put you all to shame. That's what's coming. He's going to put them all to shame. Okay? Watch this. Hold on. Damn, I'm trying to end this joint, but what's that? This, no. There you go. Job. This is Job. Damn, kind of 5 and 12. He disappointed the devices of the crafty. See, the Lord going to disappoint their devices, right? Of the crafty. That's what it said. The word crafty goes into technology, all right? Skill. That's what artificial means, skill, crafted. So the Lord's going to disappoint their devices so that their hands, and this is one of their hands, right? Their hands cannot perform their enterprise. It's a big enterprise, a conglomerate that's being formed around us, man. The wicked are surpassing us on every side. And it all goes back to their foundation of Satanism, man. That's what it's really about. All right. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. Okay, they're gonna be destroyed, like going down a hill, cannonball. They meet with darkness in the daytime. So when they get to the climax of the New World Order, they're gonna run into darkness or destruction. See that? That's that confounded. He said, "Shall put you all to shame." So they meet with darkness. They're gonna run into the destruction in the daytimes and grope in the noonday as in the night. All right. So when they get to the height of their power or their New World Order, that's when the Lord gonna rain fire upon them. They start pulling the strings with the economy and such. All right. So let's get this last scripture that was the basis of this lesson. Try not to get any more. This is Wisdom of Solomon 14:1. In the same way, a man getteth ready to sail on the raging sea, just like Esau is getting ready to try to establish their safe foundation, to um, ride the waves of the sea, control the world. That's what a lifeboard is for. That's what a surfboard is. It gives you safety, you know, and that's what they're trying to do. They think they're building like Noah's safety, ship. We're building one too, spiritually. In the same way, a man getteth ready to sail on the raging sea will call for help from a piece of wood, like Noah did, that is not as strong as the ship he is about to board. Someone designed the ship out of a desire for profit, and a craftsman built it with skill. But it is your care, O Father, that steers it. All right, so this something that's uh, a dead thing is just an object. The Most High controls all of that too, even the AI. You give it a safe path through the waves of the sea. So the only reason it's thriving or existing is the Most High is going to allow it to. And he said he appointed their bounds that they cannot pass. People may go to the sea even if they have no skill, because you can save them from any danger. It is your it is your will that the things you have made by your wisdom should be put to use. All right. So it's your will. Other than that, it wouldn't even exist. The fact that AI exists is the Father's will. All right. For it to be the Lord said he's gonna choose your delusions. All right. What's gonna keep our people deceived? And so people can cross the sea in a boat and come safely to land because they trust their lives to that small piece of wood, just like they're gonna trust in that AI. All right. That's what I was saying to the camp earlier. Like, I had to start praying when it came to these jobs because, we would push a resume forward and have faith in that instead of praying before the job and having trust in the Lord like Adam should have. All rivers was running towards him, right? But he trusted the world instead. He trusted his own way. Well, um, so the Lord controlling everything. Verse 6. This was how it was in the ancient times when a proud race of giants was dying away. The hope of the world escaped. The people, right? I'm gonna go to it. I think it say people. Hold on, 'cause that's important right there. It's 14:6. Yeah, the giants, right? So we know the giants. This is the Nephilim, the fallen ones, right? Napoleon. So when the Lord was destroying the people that was on the earth at that time, the when that generation was passing away, the hope of the world escaped. So yeah, Noah, he escaped. He was called the hope of the world, just like the elect escaped. Somebody could do a lesson on that. The hope of the world. That's what the elect are. Escaped on such a boat under your guidance. and left the world a new generation to carry on the human race. All right. And they think AI is going to do that. Nope. A blessing was on Noah's wooden boat that allowed righteousness to survive, but a curse is on an idol made by human hands. See that? So you can take wood and you can build an idol, or you can take wood and build something righteous like a boat. You know, you can use AI for something good, or they can make AI into a god, which is something wicked. But a curse is on, that's what I was telling you at the beginning, it can be used as a tool. But a curse is on an idol made by human hands, right? A curse is also on the one who makes it. Boom. All right. And not just him, I'm using him as an example. All right. Okay, so now let's go back. It said a curse is on the ones that make it, right? Um, a curse is also on the ones who make it because he works on this perishable thing and then calls it a god. All right, they're working on this perishable thing, man. It's not perfect. And then they start trying to call it a god, man. AI is powerful, but it will never be God. God is perfect. No shadow of turning. All right. In him dwelleth no unrighteousness. Pure. Let's keep going. All right. Ungodly people and these ungodly things they make they make are equally hated by the Most High. Damn. So he hates AI and he hates the people that made it. That's making it. Who will punish both the things made and the people who made them? And so Yahweh's judgment will fall on pagan idols. You know, so this should be a judgment upon the idols of the Gentiles, because even though they are made from something Yahweh created, they became horrible things that trap the souls of foolish people. All right. So it's deep, man. I want to read this last one, man. All right. It says here, Exodus 20:3, thou shalt have no other gods before me, period. Thou shalt not make unto thee graven images or the likeness of anything that is heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself unto them, calling it God, right? Nor serve them, the MOTB. For I, Yahweh, thy power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation, reincarnation, right? You come back, if you sin, you come back and live out your judgment upon earth. This is hell on earth, all right? Hell or heaven, whichever one. And showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me, meaning he's eternal, right? Here for, watching over generations from beginning to the end, and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahweh in vain. See, see, that's the point. They're taking the name of the Most High, uh, treating it like it's not important. He said he exists. He spoke that from the beginning. He knew what they were going to do in the end, try to create a false God. So he already spoke to them from the beginning. A conversation that's happening in the end. And they're like, yeah, AI exists. He's like, no, I exist. Matter of fact, yeah, tell them, say he exists. For Yahweh will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. All right. So yeah, man, and that's exactly what they're doing right now, taking the Lord's name in vain, because we're out here telling people that the Lord is about to bring judgment. And instead they're sitting here devising these idols, planning on worshiping it, submitting to it, and trying to get others to do the same. All right, when there's only one God, and his name is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahweh Shai, and the ones he said are gods. See, a God can only be established by the true God, not by a man. And he said that we are gods because he said so. With that, I'm going to say, Shalom.